consequential fight in the welterweight division that headlined the prelims on UFC 280. Belal Muhammad defeated Sean Brady by TKO via punches at 4 minutes and 47 seconds of round number 2. Mark, let me start with you this time. What was your take on another W for the bully Belal Muhammad?
This was pretty fucking impressive from Belal, huh? That was a big statement. We got one of those grappler versus grappler fights where we don't get to see 1 single second of grappling. So that sucked a little bit. I was looking forward to that. I don't know if neither one of them felt like they could get in on the hips of the other or if it was just a game plan from the jump. Though I guess Sean Brady did try a couple times, maybe a little half-heartedly. But they stood and struck all fight. And it's funny because I actually thought Sean Brady was more so getting the better of the exchanges. I thought he won round 1. Yes, he was on the back foot. Belal came with this pressure game, but I thought Brady was landing more, landing cleaner, landing with more power. But that nonstop forward pressure of Belal Muhammad really paid off. He absolutely refused to take his foot off the gas. He ate every shot that came his way. Like a couple big shots where like his expression didn't even change and he just kept walking forward. The guy's got a hell of a chin. But yeah, he would just reset, walk forward, and eventually he wore Brady down and backed him up, was able to land a big one, and he just absolutely poured it on. I talk a lot about guys who know how to finish, who don't go too crazy, who don't miss the opportunity. That was knowing how to finish. My man stayed calm, stayed right in the pocket, mixed the shots, mixed the angles, kept it on him, didn't let him breathe, and forced the ref to jump in. Would I have maybe not jumped in if I was the ref? Maybe, but I get it. And it's a massive win for Belal Muhammad, as I said in the beginning. An absolutely huge statement to do that in that fashion to an undefeated fighter in Sean Brady.
Omar, what was your reaction to Belal taking the O of Sean Brady?
Omar, I think you're muted, dude.
Oh, you are muted.
Facts. I think Belal is he looked dominant. I think it's the most dominant we've seen him in recent memory, and I think that's saying something. He looked fantastic. I thought his striking was 100% on point. I thought he mixed up his wrestling really nicely. At the same time, I was kind of underwhelmed by Sean Brady just a little bit. His striking, I thought he came out in the first round pretty good, but he drowned, I thought, relatively quickly. I think he underestimated what that pressure really felt like because I don't think we've ever seen him against that pressure. And Belal melted him. And I thought it was amazing to see kind of him get to that point. And like Mark said, just pour it on him. I did think the finish was a little early. I was kind of like, just, at least wait for this kid to drop. Like, if he drops to any extent, knee or whatever, like, let's call it a fight. But Sean Brady was still standing up. He was definitely using the cage to lean against it, so who knows how much of that was really his body standing him up. But he ate a lot of big shots. There's no doubt about it. It was a fantastic fight from Belal, regardless of whether you like the finish or not. I don't know if that fight was going to go in any different direction had it not been stopped at that point. So, got to give Belal credit where credit is due, man. He put on a hell of a performance.
Okay, Omar, sticking with you, what is next for Belal then? At 170 pounds, he just defeated an undefeated opponent. He handed Sean Brady his first loss of his professional career. If you were the matchmaker of the UFC, what would you want to do with Belal next?
So, I don't know. I don't think Gilbert Burns is doing anything, but Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns, I think at this point would be a very, very interesting fight, stylistically especially. Gilbert Burns being the jiu-jitsu specialist that he is, it would be interesting to see if Belal would use that forward pressure in his striking and rely on that, or if he would take it down and kind of play on the ground with him a little bit. So I think it'd be fun to see. There's some other options depending on how long you want to make Belal wait. But the Belal versus Gilbert Burns would be my pick.
Mark?
Are we official for Colby versus Chimaev? Is that definitely happening?
Not official. So right now it's the fight has been rumored. Both fighters supposedly have agreed, non-officially that they are going to fight each other.
I saw a thing that said Colby agreed. I didn't know if Chimaev did, so that's good. All right, so it probably is happening then. Also, note to all the people on Twitter for months and months who have been like, Colby would never accept a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Looks like he did. So, okay. So if we can't use either of them, I am with you. Belal deserves a huge fight. If that fight wasn't happening, and if Chimaev was maybe flirting with middleweight, I was going to say we could do Belal and Colby. But with Colby Chimaev in the works, feels like the answer's got to be Gilbert Burns. I don't know what else you could possibly do with the men. So Belal and Gilbert is where I'm going.
Okay. All right, boys. One more full-ish recap before we jump into our lightning round.
Can I match up Sean Brady real quick?
Oh yeah, go for absolutely.
I like this matchup, so that's why I didn't want to miss the op. I would like to see Sean Brady in there with the winner of Neil Magny and D-Rod. I think either of those would be a cool fight for Sean Brady. Either we get a guy who can kind of land the long strikes like Magny can and play that game a bit on Brady too, but can also grapple with him. Or we get a guy in D-Rod who's going to try to keep it standing and keep that pace on him. So either way, we see how Sean Brady progresses off of the loss that he just took. So I that's where I'd go.
Omar, any thoughts?
It's so crazy how they only needed a few weeks to clear up whatever elbow infection Rodriguez had that had him pull out of the Magny fight the first time. I was like, didn't they? I didn't even realize
soon, right? It's like a week away or something, right?
It's like 3 weeks apart.
Oh, okay, but still soon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a week away from today, but as far as when the original fight was booked, it's about 3 weeks different. But sorry. Ask me one more time.
Brady, what would you do with Brady?
Any thoughts?
For Sean Brady. So the one that I think would be really interesting for Sean Brady would be Jeff Neal. I don't know if Jeff Neal would take that fight, especially with Sean Brady coming off of a loss and him being under him. But stylistically, I think that fight could be very interesting.
Okay.
I had to check it, but Jeff Neal took the fight with Shavkat.
Oh, he did?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a fight.
Shavkat was calling him out for a minute, and I was kind of thinking, like, Jeff Neal's not going to take that. He just beat Vicente Luque. He's looking for something bigger, but he took it.
Nice.
We might have reported that on here.
Okay.